as I said at the start, I'm at an age where one's conversation revolves around planning for pensions and that sort of thing. You get into conversations about it. And I was talking to a friend of mine at the who works for the BBC, who's a full-time employee there and part of the BBC pension scheme, and she was saying that her husband, who was self-employed, had gone to his financial advisor and talked about pension planning in the future. And when the financial advisor discovered that he was married to someone with a full-time employment at the BBC, he said, "The only advice I can give you is don't leave your wife." I thought it was love that kept us together. Let you put up with my constant blether and acts in the bedroom I'm too coy to mention. But no, it is my index-linked pension. Obviously I'm old enough to have, I'm old enough to have children. I'm old enough to have quite elderly children now. I mean, not that old, but they left home, they're in work, get back to get married, one of them. And when they were growing up, they seemed to know a lot more than I did at sort of the age of 14 or 15. And I think that the young of today need to know even more than that. And it seems to me that the young of today are inured in every way to images of spilling guts and death by 1,000 cuts. They drink it in from Xbox games that feature violence that maims. They lap it up from plasma screens, those close-up clips of torture scenes. And when it comes to hardcore porn, they flip channels and simply yawn. They find it hard to be impressed by sweaty, heaving, naked chests. But, and it is a big but, tell them that their mum and dad frequently have sex unclad. These little darlings blanch and wail, but this has gone beyond the pale. Describe how mum loves dad to mount her on that marble kitchen counter, writhing in the breakfast debris, shrieking out in ecstasy. These hard-nosed, apathetic, whatever offspring show outrage at such rogerring. Now, I admit that when you're young, the thought of doing it for fun, much past the age of, 41, does require imagination. I mean, the idea of copulation between the aged of our nation, and more than that, between one's folks, it's like sick fantasy beyond a joke, and yet it does happen frequently, tenderly, energetically, despite those extra waistline inches, despite needing bathroom winches, despite those drooping bits and boobs, the furring up of ventricle tubes, that unnerving shortness of death, that breath, that fear of post-coital death. Yes. Despite all this, it does go on, way past the age of 41. Right.